Trump's second impeachment, uneasy but essential. Though the former president will likely be acquitted again, the truly dangerous course would be failing to try him. The evidence is clear and compelling. The deadly events of 6 January speak for themselves, as the dramatic video which launched the proceedings against the former president showed. There was visceral shock around the world as events unfolded that day, as Donald Trump urged people to fight like hell and to march on the Capitol, as he instructed them that when you catch someone in fraud, you are allowed to go by very different rules, and as mass violence followed. But what was seen in real time has been compounded by the evidence since amassed. We know more about the trauma experienced by those trapped inside the building and the injuries suffered by law enforcement officers protecting them. We know more about the intent and violence of the mob who arrived with weapons, zip ties, and pipe bombs, yelling, "Hang Mike Pence" as they invaded. Above all, we have more evidence in their own words of what or rather who motivated them. You are outnumbered, and we are listening to Trump, your boss, one of the mob told police. And we know more about how Mr. Trump delayed as aides and allies pressed him to call for peace. But only 6 Republicans were on the right side when the Senate voted on Tuesday to proceed with Mr. Trump's second impeachment trial. And even if they were to convict him too, 11 more members of his party would have to be swayed. It is almost certain he will not be convicted, which would allow a further vote to disqualify him from holding office again. Nor is it clear that the wider jury, the public, are likely to shift. His first impeachment, though crucial, dealt with a crucial issue that nonetheless seemed remote or abstract to many voters. His second deals with a matter that could hardly feel more immediate or dramatic. A majority of US voters think he should be convicted and barred from office, but only 15% of Republicans believe that. Joe Biden, who was who has promised to unify his country, is seeking to stay out of the fray, focusing on his relief plan and leaving impeachment to Congress. The assault on the Capitol showed that an election victory was not enough to fix America's political system. How to restore a democracy severely wounded by Mr. Trump, nor can it be resolved by outsourcing it to a legal process within the political realm. Yet, impeachment is not always restorative but declarative, sounding an alarm and announcing that what is happening is neither normal nor acceptable. If not now, when? If not for this, for what? In an increasingly radicalized party, Republican senators know that their careers will probably be helped rather than hindered by backing the ex president instead of convicting him as they should do. Mr. Trump is not a man who is capable of being shamed, and acquittal may embolden him and his supporters, though it would not free him from legal scrutiny. Local prosecutors have opened an investigation into his attempts to reverse Georgia's election results. Plenty of his supporters worry that the process could be counterproductive, though others think they are too dismissive and wonder if there was another way. But there can be no more serious matter in a democracy than an attempt to overturn the people's will through force. To choose to ignore that would be almost as damaging as the attempt itself. This trial will not only compel Republicans to make their standards explicit, but create a record of their choices as well as Mr. Trump's actions for history to judge. Though impeachment may not help the country return to happier times, it at least forces the acknowledgement that this is a moment of profound crisis. Without that, there can be no hope of protecting and restoring American democracy. Adapted from The Guardian on 10 January 2021.